Sarah, you have an interesting situation. What would you be interested in, a traditional monogamy? Because you're still filming.
Yeah. No, you totally make a good point about that. It depends on the scenario, the person that you're with, because so I still film, but outside of that, I don't want to be with anyone else except for my partner. And I know that doesn't make sense to a lot of people, but it makes sense to me because it's a job. But like, that's how I feel in my mind. You know, I can separate it.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't able to compartmentalize it like that.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But I've learned to do that. When I was younger, maybe not, but now.
Was that a process for him to sort of like accept that and to get into that, or was it just something you just got lucky and you found a guy who was like that?
So I've dated a lot of guys who weren't okay with it, obviously. It didn't work out because I'm not the type of girl who quits my job for a guy, whereas a lot of girls in my industry will, and then you're like, where'd they go? And then they come back in a few years because they're with the guy, you know what I mean? But I've never done that because this is my career. This is how I make money. It's a limited time that you can do it, so make it while you can. So yeah, I got lucky and found someone who understands that. And it wasn't easy at first, but you know, it's like once they get to know you as a person, they're like, okay, I love you. Like I can look past that.
I think a lot more guys, like average guys today, are going to have to deal with exactly what your man deals with right now. Now, this is like people go, well, she's a porn star. It's porn star problems, right? No, it's like every guy's problems right now.
With OF,
because OF makes it more and more and more common. Even if she's just pulling like, you know, a few $100 or $1,000 a month, that's sort of like, you know, just a slush fund or something, you know, just like, you know, gravy money or something like that. They're still going to have to be okay with that because women are still it's easy money. Can you expect me to give this up? And so we create these kind of like these social contrivances to say, well, I'm an independent woman and you need to accept that and yada, yada, yada. But like you're at like a level that's up here, but the average guys are down here and they still have to deal. That's why I asked you whether it was a process for him or if it was just, you just got lucky with him.
No, it's a little bit of a process. And like you said, the women are making more than most men and you can't ask them to.
And there's no way guys, like, especially like average guys can really compete with that, at least not in the immediate, like the now, right? So later on they might be able to.
Yeah, exactly. And sorry, I lost my train of thought. I was gonna say, otherwise you can date a rich guy who will take care of you, but then how long does that last?
And they're few and far between.
Like he was saying, and I don't want somebody to rely on someone else's money.
That creates a power dynamic.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So, you know, you deal with that. So, yeah, it's tough, but you have to find the right person. It all depends on the
And
right
then, like
person.
I was going to say, it's like it's by order of degree right now. So it's one thing to be a porn star and be making a lot of money at it and then finding a guy and then saying, okay, well, I can do this one of two ways. I can find a guy who can accept me for what I'm doing and what my career is and this is how I make money. Or because you're most likely you make more than your guy, right? But the other scenario is I find a guy that is so exotically rich that he can pull me out of pornography and just like take care of me for the princess that I am, right? And that's a more rare animal than the guy who has to learn how to sort of just accept.
And that happens a lot too. Like you'll see girls just leave the industry and then they're like, you know, they met a rich guy and then a couple of years later.
They're back again.
Right.
Because he got sick of them or he found somebody else or whatever. So, like, that's not a good scenario either.
Definitely
younger, hotter, fitter.
Definitely not every girl who breaks up starts doing porn, but every girl I talked to who does porn, there was always a breakup. Not every time. It was always like, something, you know what? And then I was like, my friends have been asking me, I was like, fuck this, I'm going to do this. You know what I'm saying? It's usually.
Yeah, that didn't happen with me. Like, I knew I wanted to do it. I was just very interested in the industry, and it was something I wanted to do. It wasn't because of a guy or anything, but yeah, that does happen pretty often.
Yes.